Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Why Are We Like This, a Heartstopper podcast. I'm Ashley, she, her.
And I'm Alyssa, she, they. And today we are not here to talk about season 2, episode 6, Truth or Dare.
I'm so sorry.
I'm also very sorry. Y'all, it's been a time. And Ashley and I had a very serious conversation the other day in which we, for different reasons that we're going to chat about, have just kind of come to realize that our current recording schedule is not really sustainable for us at the moment. And we didn't want to leave you hanging. So we're here with a little life update / podcast update to just kind of let you know what's going on.
Yes. And say, we're so sorry.
We're so sorry.
For pushing probably the most anticipated episode of the season.
I know it's my most anticipated episode of the season. And I think that that's part of the reason that I feel like we need to push it.
Yeah, because I want to be able to give it my all. And us two have been waiting for this episode. So we know that y'all have too. And it's coming, we promise.
Mm-hmm.
But life has been really hard lately for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom is really sick and she is transitioning into hospice care, and I'm going to be moving home for a little bit to help. And so things are just going to be a little unpredictable for me and my schedule for a while. So that's kind of what is going on with me.
And for me, my mental health recently has been non-existent, and I am doing what I need to do in order to take care of myself. I have got myself set up with a new therapist. I am leaning on routines that I know help to support me when I'm struggling. I'm leaning on people who I know help support me when I'm struggling. It's just, you guys know I moved from New York to Pennsylvania this summer and started a new job. And with that have come some challenges just in terms of like time. I just don't have the time at work to get everything done. And I come home exhausted and crash. And then you throw November is historically a very difficult month for me because of there are 3 different anniversaries of loved ones' passings in this month. Plus Thanksgiving is always a really difficult holiday for me because of my relationship with food and body stuff. So November is always a really, really rough time for me anyway. And then you throw, and seasonal depression, and then you throw kind of all of this additional stress, which I knew about, and it just kind of like all spiraled, and it kind of hit a breaking point. And so I've just been coming home and crashing every day, and I haven't been able to give Heartstopper the time and attention that it deserves. And you guys probably even might have noticed this because I feel like my commentary has not been as detailed or as thorough as it has been in the past. And it's just getting to a point where I don't want to feel like I'm not giving this my all because I love it. And you guys deserve the stuff that you're used to from me and from Ashley. And I just don't think that right now is the time for that.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to try our best to do our episodes as they're supposed to come out, but they're not. There's a good chance that it's not going to be every other Tuesday like clockwork. We're going to need a little bit of wiggle room, not only for like just being able to record, but also editing is going to get a little harder. So just hang in with us and it'll get better. We just are in a tough spot right now, and we got to figure out how to adjust while we work through our own shit.
I can't decide if the timing for this is fortuitous or unfortunate, given that the holidays are also among us or upon us. Because, I mean, we had already said things are going to get wonky around the holidays just with scheduling because of traveling to be with folks and all of that. So it kind of works out because it's not going to be too much more of an interruption than the holidays were already going to cause. But we do feel very sorry that we have to kind of mess things around, but we're still here. We'll be in Discord. We'll be posting stuff on Patreon still. probably not going to get a bonus episode for November, just because of timing and all of this stuff. But we've got some more deleted conversations going up soon.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be posting about the Red, White, and Royal Blue book club chat. Probably also posting to vote on the next book club book. Should probably do that.
Yeah.
So if you're on Patreon, please keep an eye out. We'll have some stuff going up there, and we will keep you updated on when Truth Dare is actually going to come out, because I cannot wait to talk about this episode.
I know.
I have been waiting to talk about this episode since before season 2 aired.
Dropped. I know. I know.
I have been waiting to talk about this episode since I read the comics. So,
and the reason that we pushed it initially was because Tarek has not read the comics, and we want to be able to reference the comics when we're talking about Truth Dare. So we did the teacher episode first, so that we could hang out with them and get all of their thoughts. And then it just, our schedules got crazy.
Yeah, life was just like, you know what? No.
Yeah. So like Alyssa said, we'll be posting on Patreon. I'm going to try to keep posted on Instagram. It probably won't be like as structured as it has been in the past. But there will still be some stuff going on over on Instagram and TikTok. And then we're just going to do our best to record and get you our content as quickly as possible while also taking care of ourselves. So,
yes. Also, I do just want to say to our lovely humans over in Discord, your kindness and just like
no joke,
the things that you've been saying have really, really meant the world. I don't want to speak for Ashley, but I'll say for me lately, just like, because I'm struggling, just kind of seeing what community has sprung up around this little podcast passion project that we were just like on a whim.
Yeah. It makes me really emotional. You may notice that I tend to get really quiet when all the love starts coming in, because I'm just sitting there crying, looking at all the messages. I don't know what to say, so I just give them little hearts.
Yep.
So yes, thank you for all your love and your kind words. And to everyone who already kind of knew a little bit about what was going on with me, thank you for your support in our DMs. Also, we turned 1.
Yeah, we did.
And we hit 75,000 listens. So in our first year, we put out 29 episodes and we got 75,000 listens, which is mind blowing for what we thought we were going. We didn't think this was going to.
I was like, we're going to have 2 people listen to this podcast, one of which is probably going to be my mom, with no context, just using it as another way to stalk me.
Exactly. I was like, we'll be lucky if we get 100 listens per episode.
All of our top 10 episodes have over 3,000 plays. That is a lot.
Insane. So thank you for listening.
Thank you. We love you, and we will get you Truth Dare as soon as humanly possible.
In the meantime, I have some stuff to catch up on from Heat. Before we get into that, though, I do just want to give a shout out to the listener who I ran into at the Slayerfest 98 live show. Thank you for coming. Thank you for talking to me. And I'm so sorry I was a drunken ADHD mess when you found me at the end of the show. I was pulled 800 directions, and I don't even remember saying goodbye to you. So I hope that I did not just dip or get pulled. But thank you for coming and telling me all the kind things that you said. It meant a lot. So, okay. Heat. I have been making voice notes since the episode came out on things that either I forgot to talk about because we were having some drinks and I was kind of skimming over some of my notes, or messages and comments we got from people pointing stuff out. First up from my notes, we didn't talk about Isaac's growth, because in season 1, he very much like freezes whenever Harry is being combative. Like, think about whenever he threw the rugby ball at Tal at lunch, and Isaac just freezes and doesn't say anything. And now we have him alone-ish, because they're like spread out in the field, but like basically one-on-one with Harry. And he is confronting him and laying into him. And so I just love to see that growth and that confidence build within Isaac. And that's something that we didn't talk about that I feel like should be pointed out.
Yeah, that's something that I had mentally flagged for later episodes that are a bit more Isaac centered. But no, that is definitely true. Even just like the amount of dialogue that Isaac has,
right? Yeah,
in Heat alone, I think is more than he says in all of season 1, and that is important as well.
Yeah. Okay, the next one I want to hear your thoughts on.
I'm scared.
So,
by the way, hang on, really quick. I need you all to know Ashley refused to tell me what any of this pertained to, because she, and I quote, wants my genuine reaction. She has promised me that there's nothing bad, but I am terrified nonetheless.
None of it's bad. It's all just things we didn't talk about.
Is it going to make me cry?
Not this one.
Okay. Are any of them going to make me cry?
I don't know. There's a couple that might, but I don't think there's going to be any emotional breakdowns today. Okay, so
no emotional breakdowns today as a result of yes.
Yeah, let me rephrase that.
The day is still young, Ashley.
Yeah, it's true. It's 10 a.m. Okay, so Donna on TikTok sent us a message. It says, "Hi friends. Absolutely love your podcast and never miss an episode. Thank you for being as in love with this show as I am. I'm currently halfway through your episode about Heat, and I was curious about your thoughts on one of the scenes. When they're at breakfast," this is something I had never thought about. "When they're at breakfast, and Tal calls out Nick about giving Charlie the hickey, and Nick owns up to it. They do all of this in front of Sahar that we have not seen them come out to. And so is this their official telling of Sahar that Nick is bi, or do you think that there's a cut scene somewhere? I just feel like that was such a big deal to openly do in front of her, although our boys do not seem subtle at all on this trip. Thank you for your podcast." I feel like there's probably a cut scene from the party, the Woods party.
So this is something that I have been thinking about. And I think it's like a note that I don't remember if I wrote it down and missed it, or if when I was taking my notes, just forgot to write it down and was like, yeah, I've been thinking about this for so long. I'll remember it, not realizing that I was going to drink a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
For funsies. I mean, also, to be fair, that recording was really long. So
yeah, it was so long.
There's not a coming out scene to Sahar in the comics either. She's introduced, and like we have her with the gang all through Paris. That's why it's the Paris squad.
You're right.
There isn't a coming out moment with Sahar ever. Because
she's in the room for Truth Dare.
She's in the room for Truth Dare, but I'd have to go back to the comics. But I'm pretty sure they're like doing couple-y shit in front of Sahar, like just like amongst the friend group. And I have to assume that there's like an off-screen, like, extra textual, or not extra textual, but like, yeah, an off-screen coming out that I don't know if they filmed. I don't know if it was ever written, or if it's just this implication that Sahar is a part of the inner circle and therefore knows. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, when I say I think there's probably a deleted scene, I mean, in my brain, there's a scene that, like, that's where it would have fit in the show to me, as like a practice coming out before he tried to come out to the rugby boys, because they're like, Sahar and Tara are on the blanket, like not too far from them. Like, I feel like there could have been a scene here where Nick comes out to Sahar in like preparation for like a practice run for because she's gonna be fine, like
low stakes,
right? Exactly. But I just thought that was interesting, because I had never thought about that, the fact that she's at the table when they have that whole conversation, and we have never seen that. So The next one you probably have heard, because this one is the most we've ever been written in about, I think. At the end, when they're at the train station, the train station name translates to School of the Heart. And the like piece of art that's on the wall next to it has the Alice Oseman birds. And in French it says fly away, which is so cute because they're, going on their little adventure. And I feel like Paris is really like when they start to soar in their relationship. So I love how much you hate my puns.
I do that. It's not just you, it's everyone. It's
all puns
except for the ones that I make, because the ones that I make are very clever and intelligent and are of course hilarious.
Okay, so there's that. And then also I just want to talk about, we complain about the Instagram stuff a lot, and they were talking about it in our Discord. I didn't pull up names because this was an ongoing chat, I think, with a lot of people in it.
And we love our chaotic beans over in Discord.
Yes, we do.
But it's hard to keep track of what's going on sometimes.
And it's hard to search for stuff because that server is popping. You have to really dig to find stuff. But basically, it's free to use apps on a phone like that, but you have to pay for texting. And so if their parents aren't paying for their plans and they're not old enough to get their own plan, then they have no choice but to use the apps to text their friends. And I think that makes a lot of sense. So I just wanted to point that out. This next one is like really fun for me. And I meant to, this is another one that I had written down and forgot to say. We get to see that the boys' room is room number 214, which is the same number as Buffy and Willow's dorm room.
I love that.
And then this one's for you. I don't know if you saw Franzia in Discord is French and looked at Elle's worksheet and said that it was all pretty much exactly correct, which of course Elle would be a top-notch student and get it all
Excellent.
Right. I think they said the one thing I couldn't find, again, I dug for it, but I couldn't find the original post, and I apparently didn't screenshot it. The one thing that was off was, I think they said it was Elle wrote "Where's the bus stop?" and she should have wrote "Where's the closest bus stop?" So that's the one thing that was off, but everything else was accurate.
Awesome. Good job, Elle. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. And then the last one says, this was from Hi Hayes, maybe it's HIHAASE on Instagram. And they commented on my Protect This Man at All Costs post that I did for Mr. Farouk. And, or I guess it was Mr. Ajayi, and then I did Mr. Farouk. But anyway, they commented and said, I just listened to your new episode on the adults in the show, and I just wanted to add a thought on the strict attitude and shouting of Mr. Farouk. I think it is great that here again, Alice shows us that the stereotypes don't work, that a gay man can be strict, loud, and assertive. It's a nice addition to the more comforting character of Mr. Ajayi, which is a very good point that I had not thought about.
I had to restrain from singing their theme song.
Yes. I saw your face. I wasn't sure what was.
I don't know if you saw that in my eyes.
I definitely did.
In my entire soul. But I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. So, you all know what I mean.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought that was a great point. That
is a great point. Yeah.
I did not think of.
It's especially because I feel like there's so much of like that queer teacher is like a stereotype too. And it's typically like the arts or humanities. It's like an English teacher or an arts teacher of some kind, music,
right?
Fine arts, whatever.
Theater, yeah.
That, is that like very soft and gentle, kind of person. And Mr. Farouk really challenges that as a stereotype and kind of shows that you can be, that there are queer people everywhere and that we run the gamut. And yeah. That is not a fully formed thought, but that's fine.
No, it made sense.
See, this is the problem with you not letting me preview these notes, because you want my genuine reaction, but you also don't get comprehensible thoughts from me.
I feel you. But none of it was too heavy, so I felt like
that's fair.
They're all fun notes. Yeah. Thank you all for writing in. I love getting everybody's comments and DMs about things we either missed or different interpretations of things. So yeah, keep talking to us. We like it.
Yes. You are all very wonderful and make me very happy.
Well, that's all I have.
That's all I have too.
So thank you all for listening and for hanging out with us and for being so dang kind.
Yeah.
We love y'all.
We do. I do not want to say that it is a bi-weekly bisexual podcast because who knows right now. But for now, this is a bisexual podcast.
Yes. And we will be back soon. Bye.
Bye.